ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد. إلا دار زايد لا تقرب حماها لا تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد. نحنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها.
I would really like to thank the UAE government. They have been incredibly helpful to us over the years here, and particularly in this recent times, the fact that they have managed to not feel a need to retaliate. They have just defended us excellently, and they have given us alarms to hide. They've really managed the situation really, really well. Generally, also just without the emergency situation, the government here has been very, very supportive to us, and we have really very happy to be working here in Abu Dhabi.
Hello everyone, and welcome again to another episode of your favorite program, Pearls of Union. Being a director and handling more than 20 employees, in today's episode we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Angus. Hi Mr. Angus.
Hello.
We are happy to have you today with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Mr. Angus, before we start our main conversation, we would like to know about you, your background, experience, and the things which shaped who you are today.
I'm Angus Bowie. I've been working in the oil industry since 1991. Before that, I did many different jobs, including managing production lines, and machining, and designing special purpose tools, all of which gave me a wider background and knowledge of what I do. I was a graduate chemical engineer from Harrowell University in 1982. I didn't get a job in chemical engineering, so I drifted off into different jobs and ended up changing my institute to mechanical engineers, where I got chartered. So I'm a full chartered mechanical engineer. I've driven hard within the mechanical engineering, so all my graduate engineers that I employ, we put through a training program to get them to become graduates as well. We teach them how to be good engineers first, and then we try and get them to get chartership at the end. And I think we're up to nearly 20 chartered engineers and talking now. I joined a company called Technomarine in 1991, who isolated pipelines with plugs, techno plugs, and I joined them to automate their engineering on their non-core assets. So we wrote programs which did plants and did planches and things, and these programs automated the full thing, and you just typed in the pipe diameter and pressure, and it gave you, spat out all the drawings to scale, spat out the full engineering reports for that. When at Technomarine, it was a very small company, there was only 30 people, so during the shutdown season, all the engineers went offshore, so I went offshore, I got some practical experience offshore, I worked in projects, I worked in QA, QC. Before I left Technomarine, I was operations manager, so I've done every job apart from accounts.
Of course.
Got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I left Technomarine in 2003 and I joined Stats. When at Stats, I've joined a guy, Peter Duckett, who was a guy who owned Stats at that time, and his sister Lorraine. And Peter was a great salesman with technical aptitude, and he let me use my innovation to design, patent, and drive the company forward. Lorraine kept us going and made sure we had all the backup that allowed us to do that, the finance, the QA, QC, and everything. And we just drove the company hard, and we expanded. When I joined at 16 people and less than $1 million turnover. When we sold to Mitsui, we had, I think, a 69 million turnover, and we're now up over 100 million. We had several hundred people, so really, really driven. When I was at Technomarine, they had a guy, Brian Thompson, who was an inspirational leader. I always try and follow him, what I do. Everybody liked him. He was a really driving character, always positive, always pushing forward. So I try and emulate that in what I do, trying to pull everybody forward and drive things. At Stats, I started off as business development, just in sales, and then I went into became technical director when we designed all the tools, patented all the tools. Pete and I went out to sell things, and even though we're a very small company, we got credibility and we grew the company. In about 2010, there were 3 big jobs coming in the Middle East, mostly out of Qatar. We had Qatar Gas EPRS, Rasgas EPRS, and Dolphin EPRS, and we managed to secure the Qatar Gas EPRS first. The plugs for that, because our competitors had failed to make a plug that could do a 10% dent, and we made one very quickly. We then got the Rasgas, and we got the Dolphin pig trap job. We didn't get the plugs, but part of that was to show local content. So we came out here in 2012 to set up facilities, and we set up in Abu Dhabi, we set up in Qatar, and we've now since then set up in Saudi and Oman. So we've really got local facilities. But the intention is always to put somebody strong, which was me. I came here, Peter, who was my other director. He went to the Americas to go both directions. And really it was to try and be local, be part of the local community, drive the business locally, which we have done, and I've never been disappointed with that decision. It's a really important thing to do. Working in the Middle East gave me a great appreciation for other cultures, for other peoples, and when you only see one culture, you see your own place. Exactly. You see only your own people. You think that everybody else is trying to cheat you and you're going to be the evil people. Whereas when you work abroad, when you work with other people, you find we're all the same. We all just want to make a living for ourselves and make success of our own countries. And really, I've done very well here, and it's done very well for me. So since we've been here, we've grown to, I think, over $50 million a year for the Middle East alone, which is a third of the company's turnover. We were bought in 2023 by Mitsui, I supported the Mitsui bid against private equity because Mitsui had a 25-year plan for us. So they are, again, investing locally. They appreciate what we're trying to do, and they're trying to grow us and make us a positive company in the force. All my patents I count as my little babies, and by Mitsui putting the investment in, it provides a future for my babies.
Of course. Mr. Angus, it's a very inspiring journey, and we will get into details to it. But before we start speaking about the company, we would like to know who supported you in this journey.
Okay, my original inspiration was my father, who was a mechanical engineer, again an inventor. He ran his own company. And then when I started Technomarine, was employed by Roddy Ross, who was an accountant, and he owned the company. But he allowed this guy, Brian Thompson, who is my inspiration for where we go, and to just run the company and to push it forward. So those two were my real inspiration at Technomarine. And then when I started Stats, as I say, Peter Duckett was a great help to me. And his sister Lorraine just allowed us to do the jobs. So the internal people that have focused me. Other heroes I've got are people like Gandhi. I really appreciated how he made independence with peace, and he just took a new attitude to life and showed how you could just, by people power, do things. So these are really my guys. Again, the leaders of our great country here, the way they are running this country has been very, very efficient and very helpful to both us and to all the residents in the place.
Of course, yeah. Mr. Angus, what's the main lesson you have learned throughout this journey?
The main lesson is to be positive and to address everything with a can-do attitude. Don't get depressed. Don't put people down. There's so much that can be done in this world if you just look at it and say, what can I do? How do I fix this? Not, oh my God, something's going wrong. Just, we are where we are now. How do we get to where we want to be? And I think that's the greatest lesson.
Of course, yeah. Let's speak a little bit about Stats Group. Okay. So what is the services which Stats Group provides?
Okay, Stats Group provide services in the integrity of oil and gas pipelines predominantly. We isolate the pipelines so that you can maintain the valves and pipework without emptying the pipelines. It makes us very carbon negative. We save millions of tons of carbon being flared off each year. So it's a very, very positive environmental company. We specialise in our tools, offer double dock and bleed technology, 2 barriers, both tested with an ambient in between them. When I started in Stats, we had a job for Shell where they had to isolate 32 lines, rundown lines, inside the platform leg, and we had a hot tap in and then cut the line, isolate, cut the line, put a plug in. And the hot tap technology at that time, I would have had to put 2 hot taps per line, and the best they told me I would get is 90% positive isolation. So that means I'm cutting 64 holes and 6 of them would fail to give me isolation. I knew that with the Technoplug I could do that isolation, leak tight without any issues with 1 hole. So we invented the Bicep, which has 2 seals and a spherical head, which goes into 1 hole. Instead of having 4 holes in the pipe per isolation, we just had 1. We do clamps, we do plugs, tether plugs, we do remote plugs. We do everything to do with the integrity of the pipeline, but the majority of our stuff is isolation, both hot tap and with isolation plugs. Sorry, a bit boring there. I'm a technical.
That's not, Mr. Angus, as you can see, the artificial intelligence has affecting our daily life in many times, right? So what is the artificial intelligence, how it is affecting Stat Group?
Most of our stuff is big lumps of steel and rubber that are running with air-driven control units, which don't use much of the AI. We've just taken on, or I've just taken on in the R&D division, an electrical development engineer to bring this on so we can automate these processes. What we're planning to do first is, right at the moment, once we give an isolation certificate, we have guys sit on site watching gauges and making sure they're safe while the guys cut the pipe things. We're going to change that so there'll be a room with screens and we'll have one person watching all the sites around the world that are doing that. With that, we will get a lot of data which would allow us to utilise AI for assessments.
Yeah.
We're looking into the AI, particularly we're looking at developing, when we send a plug down the line, there's a lot of engineering to find out if it's got any blockages or anything in it. We're looking for AI to send a tool down which gathers huge amounts of data, and the AI will chunk through that data and tell us if there's any debris in the line, if there's any wall thickness in the line, and where the set location should be, and it will just do a lot of data there. But right now it's not a huge amount of AI for our particular technology.
Yeah, I can understand. What about the clients? How do you make sure that the client is happy with the service?
Well, we ask them normally. We have a questionnaire once we do the service. But even right up front, we go in and we ask clients what they want to do. I'll give you an example. In Aramco, our competitor, there was an issue with a job and they stopped all hot gap isolation and they put in loss prevention. And other people tried to get around loss prevention, but I went into loss prevention. I said, look, what do I have to do? I believe this is safe. What do I have to do to convince you? And we work with them to get over the hurdle to allow them to move forward. We then do the job, we can get feedback, and we improve. On most of our stuff, it's safety critical, so we do risk assessments with the clients. And with that, we share that information. So if a client picks up a new risk that hasn't been previously found, we then share that into our generic risk assessments and our generic procedures. All our stuff is very tightly controlled in procedures because of the safety requirements.
Yeah. Challenges are normal in all sectors. What challenges can engineering sector face and how Stat Group is keeping up with these challenges?
There are many challenges that we encounter. A lot of them are we isolate pipelines, and we isolate pipelines other people can't get at. But people make pipelines, and they make, particularly in the plants, they put pipes in racks, they put pipes around things, they go up and down inside legs. Access is always a real problem for us. So sometimes we have to totally redesign our equipment to cover the access. We also have challenges in pressures, temperatures, new chemicals, and we have to resolve, and we do an awful lot of testing to prove where we are on that. We can see a little bit of that later, but we test all the new, anything that's out of the ordinary, we do a full FAT on and prove how to do it. But yeah, there's always challenges we encounter. Our engineers, as I said earlier, we try and teach them how to be really good engineers. So they all do a bit in projects, a bit with their hands on, a bit in design. So they see projects to go all the way through from start to end, which really helps them assess problems and resolve problems when they encounter them. They're not just, a lot of companies have their design engineer to sit in front of the computer and never see the real thing, whereas our guys always get that full experience.
Exactly. So what is the vision of a Stats Group?
The vision of Stats Group is to grow in the international arena, to carry on doing what we're doing, to improve our technology, Right now, we developed double block and bleed technology for hot tap isolation back in 2005. Only now are our competitors coming up with something I would call a reasonable competitive product. But now we have to leapfrog to take it to the next level that we are ahead of them. So we're bringing out our new version of the bicep this year. Next year it's going to be the new version of the plug. Always trying to keep ahead. Grow geographically. We're now in America, in Canada, in the Middle East. As I say, we've got 4 or 5 facilities. We're in Asia Pacific, we're in Malaysia, we're in Australia. We've got a wide coverage. But there are still places, Africa, South America, that we haven't really approached, and we will be looking to do them. Some will be supported out of the Middle East, some will be supported out of the UK or the American bases. We set up core bases in each of our regions. The most important thing for us is that we support people locally. When you have a problem with your pipeline, you don't want somebody coming in, flying somebody in business class from a different continent, only to fly the equipment in. This stuff will show you. Some of it's 40 tons and it's massive. You stick that in an aeroplane, you take up a lot of plane, and it's environmentally insensitive. So we're also looking at the environment by keeping things local, by reducing our transport costs, transport environmental impact, by being more efficient on how we isolate pipelines. We are great on the environment. We're also looking at the energy transition. We've already got live experience of isolating high pressure carbon dioxide lines, which nobody else has. We've proven our isolation on hydrogen lines, both at high pressure and at low pressure. And we're in the middle of doing our ammonia at high pressure here. Actually, the reason we're not doing it just now is because ADNOC needed the equipment that we were using to test for an emergency application because of the current situation.
Yeah.
So we're really driving forward, and as I say, Sui's behind us all the way, and I think we're going to grow substantially. We're probably going to acquire other companies to make an overall service, not just the bits that Stats do.
So, Mr. Angus, what's your advice for the younger generation who would like to build their career in engineering sector?
I would advise that they try and get a job which will give them a breadth of experience. Not just, if you go into the big ADNOCs and things originally, you'll get pigeonholed. Whereas if you start off with a smaller company, you will get better experience. You'll see the whole job through. Try and do everything with enthusiasm. Try and have a can-do attitude rather than a can't. Can-do is what will get you past interviews, it will what will get you through your life and what makes you very popular. And when you're management, if we get to management, be an inspiring manager. Lead from the front. Don't ask anybody to do anything you wouldn't do, go anywhere you wouldn't go, or expose themselves to any risk that you wouldn't expose yourself to.
And with this, we come to the end of our program today. We had a great conversation with Mr. Angus, the Regional Director of Stats Group. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
It was a great conversation with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
وطنهم سند لا تذكر الفزعات إلا طراها مداتها بالعطايا